Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with these nerds.
Nathan Nerdark.
Nerdark is Ted.
And just remember, because your player's on hiatus doesn't mean your game has to go on hiatus.
Jump down to the description below. You can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
Alright, so another GM has an issue. He's got a problem in his game, and the biggest problem is he needs some role-playing campaign filler while one of his players are away.
So this is by GM Hakara, and we're going to grab his original email, put it in the description down below, and essentially the long and the short of it is he's got a player that's going to be gone for about a month and a half, and he's looking for some filler so that that player does not miss out on the big bad fight that's upcoming.
That's leading to. And and he wants this other adversary that's been hounding and harassing the party to continue to do such in the meantime. No, I would probably do. I would just take agency as the GM and have this guy either capture, kidnap, or squirrel away the player's character that's not going to be there. And the next few sessions would basically be all about trying to free their companion.
Rescue missions are always fun, especially when they're planned out. Okay, well, that player's not going to be there. Okay, this happened. Deal with it.
The idea here is, one, basically the bad guy is trying to set a death trap for the rest of the players. He's using the one player as bait, and they're in this magical terrain, so he could possibly do something with that. Or, maybe if this guy's powerful enough, which it seems like he is, he could probably open. And he's a servant of even more powerful beings. Why not kidnap him and then jump into some kind of portal or something? Or even suck them all into a magic item or something.
So I was thinking something along those lines where you're dealing with an extra planar situation. If you're looking to delay week after week, each week could be get another layer in this portal or plane, and okay, there might be a little bit of combat, but it's this big puzzle that you're trying to solve. Or if you're actually really good, you could have a multi-layer puzzle where there's one puzzle that's the big thing, and each puzzle as you solve it actually gives you a piece of the greater puzzle. So 3 layers to actually get the big answer to, okay, well, we finally got out. Now let's go get the guy.
If they get sucked into a magic item, let's say it's that, and there's a way to get out of this extra dimensional space, but it involves gathering different shards or to gather. Some of them have puzzles, like you're saying, and you're saying you have puzzles for some of them, you have combat for some of them, but they don't leave the canyon in a sense. It's more of some kind of exotic ritualized power. I mean, this is 20th level warlocks. I mean, it could just be a patron power that he has access to that he's using upon them.
Yeah, I would literally draw from things like movies like Labyrinth or Hellraiser.
I was thinking Labyrinth would be a good fit for that.
To kind of come up with the kind of place you might get shunted to.
Yeah, and I was thinking that if you didn't want to take them out of the canyon, perhaps there's offshoots of the canyon in which the warlock could send minions that are maybe a very intimidating level a minion, perhaps something that either is unknowable, like if you reskinned a Baylor or something into some kind of ice monstrosity, and rather than fight it, or maybe they fight it for a little bit and then they say, we should get out of here, but the only place to run is down this unknown area, so it's more of a chase scene of trying to get away from this monstrosity while still trying, continue your mission to go on towards another section of the canyon. So I was thinking some kind of incorporating of chase scenes, just alter the one that's in the book to suit your needs.
Yeah, that's definitely another way to do it. So where like you said, it's not necessarily just a combat, but you're turning it into a different kind of encounter where it's a chase, and maybe you could even incorporate skill challenges from different editions of Dungeons and Dragons, like 4th edition, and make them have to overcome that. Matt Colville did a really good video on skill challenges with some great ideas that you could probably steal from there as well.
Another possible idea is if you're honestly trying to keep them in the same locale, matrix it up. You know, have them enter the spirit world. Their bodies are there, and perhaps this player that's missing, he's the one that's going to defend the bodies while they go off and do this spiritual journey for whatever reason it needs to be done. He defends the bodies, they go off and do this thing, and that could be an entire evening session or a multi-session arc, depending upon how you want to plan it out.
I actually kind of like that. You know, or you could even do another spin on that where maybe this warlock actually he's the one that enacts it and sucks the one player that's not going to be there out of their body, and so they have to spirit walk after them. Mm-hmm. So in essence, I mean, it's the same thing as you said. You know, it's just a little different in the sense that now they're chasing through the spirit world to try and regain their companion's spirit and bring it back to their body. But that, you know, would be another way of doing it. And I'm sure there's like a plethora of things you could do with that as well. And you could even incorporate the chase scene again.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I forget what video it was where we talked about kind of that idea before, too, of one of the players being taken from the rest of the party, and whether it's an NPC or one of the player characters, and the rest of the group is trying to get them back. We had talked about this humorous scenario where, you know, it's vines or something, and you have, you know, monsters like goblins or gremlins or something that are kind of like surfing and riding on the player that's been stolen, and, you know, the other players are chasing after them, and they're shooting at them and stuff like that. And again, like, this is, you know, a really powerful character that's taking him, so you could do other things as well. I mean, you could have like a Nazgul type mount where the players see this warlock riding it, you know, and you're doing it either through the spirit realm, you're doing it in another dimension, you know, in a magic item. There's plenty of stuff where characters either go into like a djinn's lamp or gem or whatever's housing them. It could be something similar to that.
The tiny city of Kendor? Was that what the Superman one is?
Yeah, there's that as well. And also, I was thinking of another Superman reference too, is like having to go into the Phantom Zone. So there's like definitely lots of tropes you could do. Even like the latest Doctor Strange movie where he's got to travel into another dimension. I feel like comics are full of those tropes where that happens. The DC Justice League Unlimited, I feel like there's a couple episodes that are kind of like that as well. Yeah, the Mirror Dimension was definitely one of them. And I'm trying to think, there's a couple others too.
All right, so I'm gonna mash everything together in what I was just saying.
Jeez.
Okay, so the warlock does this spell thing. Everybody gets imprisoned except the one person that's going to be missing. They're all doing this epic quest inside this extra dimensional icy crystal space, trying to basically solve the way of unlocking the whatever spell Eldritch energy is holding them in. Yeah, that's trapping them. Meanwhile, they don't know what's going on. So once they get out, they'll find out that the guy that went on the month-and-a-half leave, he was actually running away from something that was trying to eat the gem or capture the gem for the Warlock Master, but it's just the one guy compared to the rest of the party. So he wasn't able to basically fight it, so he ran away. So you can do like a little tiny chase scene when he comes back for like the first 10 minutes or whatever. He's doing a chase scene of what he was doing while everyone else was like trying to get out of the crystal. And you can either have it where, you know, at the end of the last session with the people, they're going to be solving the problem and getting out. So it just kind of like coincides that you do the little chase scene, and either when he's in real trouble or he finally escapes the creature, whatever the case may be, you can either have the rest of the party pop out. Yeah, you could have the rest of the party pop out and save the day by everybody being able to fight this creature now, or he escapes and then everyone pops out and everyone's fine. He's like, yeah, this was, you know, and then each one of them were like, this crazy thing happened, you know, to us. It was.
I like the idea of him getting cornered, and that's when they pop out, and then you get to go right into the fight.
Yeah, I think that would be neat, kind of, because that way the person still like is kind of like, oh, well, there was something I did while you guys were gone.
It actually gets to the gym and it starts vomiting out adventurers as they escape.
And it could happen that way, but I mean, you're the GM, you can kind of, you know,
have fun with it. Do whatever.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
The other thing too would be to like introduce. You could go with like introduce a giant monster that the warlock kind of either summons or leads to the players, and it eats them all, and you can do the adventuring inside the monster.
Oh yeah.
That's always a good one as well.
And then the player has been like following the monster around, trying to figure out how to get them out of there. And it could be like a magical in nature where it doesn't eat them per se, but inside of it is just another dimension. So you could do. This is definitely an area where if you have some trippy or weird ideas, you can pull them out.
Play 'em.
Yeah, this is where you play them. Maybe this is where you can kind of deviate from where your campaign's been going all along and switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, especially getting a break from what sounds like a really terrible place, the Blood Canyon terribleness that was.
Or where you can put them in somewhere even more terrible.
Well, it gives them a different flavor of terrible, Change it up.
Add
Dave was saying.
psychedelic colors to it. It'll be great. So let us know in the comments below what you think. How would you help this GM out? While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can check out our articles over at nerdarchy.com.
While there, don't forget to check out the awesome store.
So until next time.
Stay nerdy.